just who they were.
This is Baratunde live from Invesco+Field, just before Barack. Sit here and enjoy.
Kids, but it stayed with you.
In Chicago, you would find a car.
Thank you. And I drove out to Chicago. Didn't know a soul at the time.
There were factory closings, lost jobs, failing schools. And in the people he met, you would find answers.
Everyone was raving about this guy.
She came off as very professional. I wasn't sure she had much of a sense of humor.
I thought Barack Obama, who names their kid Barack Obama?
That's one thing, the name was Barack Smith. Or Barry Obama. But Barack Obama, that's a killer. That's not going to work.
And sort of a month into it, he was like, we should go out on a date. And I thought, no. So he took me to the
Cold.
what was going on in a church basement on the far south side of the city. Point of hope.
CBS News dude down there.
We walk in and he takes off his suit jacket. Discussion about the world as it is and the world as it should be. And that was it. Really, after that day, that was it. I was in love with him.
I had a title to the world. That's what she had titles to the world.
His classmates were field authors from big law firms in Wall Street that he felt compelled to serve.
I thought he was crazy. You know, I thought, well, what'd you do all this for?
You read about some injustice and you say, that's not right, somebody should fix that. You realize that nobody else is going to fix it if you don't.
The intent of this bill is to make sure that low-wage workers are able to bring home a living wage.
Tax cuts for workers, welfare to work, and health care for those without it.
You're unemployed, you've got no health insurance, your kid is in a lousy school. That's day-to-day stuff. That's what people live on a day-to-day basis.
Pieces of legislation that he carried, he believed in. He was not carrying it for a group. He was not carrying it for a lobbyist.
I remember the first trip I took to downstate Illinois. Yeah, when I got down there, people were completely familiar to me. They were all like my grandparents.
And in Washington, he would remember why he was running and who he was fighting for. Energy independence, fighting nuclear proliferation, ethics reform.
I watched him stand in the middle where a lot of the senior members of the Senate were saying, hey, go away, leave us alone. He wouldn't.
What I want is a family that is transmitting the values I inherited, the values that Michelle inherited to the next generation. Hard work, honesty, self-reliance, respect for other people, a sense of empathy, kindness, faith. My mom passed away was one of the toughest moments of my life. You know, we always had a small family, and she was sort of the beating heart of that family. It was a reminder to me what life sure is short. You better seize the moment. One of my earliest memories, going with my grandfather to see some of the astronauts being brought back after a splash pad, sitting on his shoulders and waving the little American flag. I remember my grandfather, who always had a big imagination. He was like a little boy himself. And my grandfather would say, oh, boy, Americans, we can do anything when we put our minds to it.
Yeah, I just want you to know it is really just hitting me what's going on here right now. This is the most amazing
that each
event
of us can make
I've
what we
ever
want
been
in our
at
lives.
in my life. And I've been a part of some pretty badass events in my
His
life.
mother made for him, and that he would
There are
again continue.
75,000.
I stand before you today to announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America.
Being president is always about trying to move people.
Every generation, we have an obligation to work on behalf of the next generation. We've got to work to make their lives better.
I know what it's like not to have a father in the house. To have a mother who's trying to raise kids, work, and get her college education at the same time.
It is that fundamental belief, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that makes this country work.
I know what it's like to watch grandparents age, whether their fixed income is going to be able to cover the bills.
We've got to transform the political culture so it's responsive to you and not the special interests and not the fat cats, not the lobbyists, but it's responsible to you and your
And when I travel from town to town, I see Americans going through the same things that my family went through. And I'm reminded of what my mother always said. Imagine what it's like to be in somebody else's shoes. You know, one person's struggle is all of our struggles. We recognize ourselves and each other. To make sure that opportunity is there. Not just some people, but all of us. And that's the country I believe in. That's what's worth fighting for.
Get it up. There he is.
Alright, I'm gonna turn off the screen and just watch this. Check out all these flashing lights and remember today, this is it. This is it. Yes, we can.